Hey, so this episode is kind of unique because people were asking me, like, why should we listen to you? How do you know this stuff? And how are you different than all the other salespeople out there? I never use the terms expert or guru because I just don't think that's the right analogy or approach that we should take to selling and sales. I think the right approach is more like a doctor or a lawyer or any other type of professional where you're in what we call a practice, where you're constantly learning. And why should you listen to me? Well, I've done it. I did it my whole life. That was pretty much my whole career. I loved it. I had a passion for it. I was very successful at it. And I really dug into it. I didn't take the personality approach. I didn't take the one-hit wonder approach, the one-trick pony approach, any of those things. Why did I not take them? Because they weren't enough. And I got into very complex, early-stage startups and into the hardest of cases. Nobody knew who we were. We really didn't get leads. Nobody even knew they needed our stuff. And what I had to do was kind of get into these accounts and build them up from nothing, from scratch. So I really studied it. And then, and through this process, I was always looking for help. I was looking for somebody who, like I am today, somebody who'd been through it. I read the books, and they were all from the simple sale, the door-to-door sale. A couple of them were on the strategic sale, but they weren't really deep enough. They talked about the champion and the politics, but they really didn't have a step-by-step process to get you through there. And you dig into those people, and they hadn't really done it, or they did it a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just incomplete. It's inaccurate. It's kind of focusing on just one skill, one part of the game instead of the whole game. And this is the missing piece I saw in the sales space. And that's what I wanted to fill in. And I still see it today. And I still see salespeople wanting that one step, that silver bullet approach. And if you look at all the books that have been successful in selling, it's the silver bullet instead of the whole game. It's objection handling, it's closing, it's prospecting, it's hustle and grinding. All good, but not sufficient, not complete. And even if you're good at those things, that's part of the game. And today, people are trying to break the game into different pieces, and that's good. But there still has to be that one person that gets the deal, that takes the person from some curiosity and some marginal level of interest all the way through to closure. And how do you do that? What are you going to run into? How do you prevent it? How do you handle competition? How do you prevent the deal from that no decision BS state that people are very comfortable living in? And what I'm here to do is tell you that is just people who don't understand the sales process. And literally, there was a big popular book out about 15 years ago, and they called like the crucible, the step after you meet, present, you give a proposal, and then it goes silent. And they called it like a black box. And I go, it's not a black box. It's just that they didn't understand what goes on in that box because they're not there. And it's natural not to understand. And that's where most deals die. This so-called no decision or a loss to, we're going to wait, we're going to come and revisit it 6 months later. That is really, it's a no sale. It doesn't matter because you're not getting paid on it. And if you're alive to be there when they revisit it, because a lot of sales is timing, let's face it. A lot of the things that we buy are based off of, life events, economic events, corporate events. All of these things are triggers for people to all of a sudden go from latent pain to active pain. And this is what I want to help people with, is showing that. So how am I different? First of all, check everybody out before you listen to them. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this person was coming up with an online course about productivity and efficiency, and he admitted he had only had one real job for 1 month. And he was just really taking other people's stuff and curating it and presenting it as a course. It doesn't mean it's bad. No, it doesn't mean it's bad, but it does mean that it doesn't have life experience. It's not tested. It's not really war-ridden. It hasn't been out on the track long enough to really see if it works or if it just makes sense. Because conventional logic doesn't apply a lot to sales. Because in sales, it's better to listen than to talk, counterintuitive. It's better to give than to receive. It's counterintuitive. So many of these things are just counterintuitive. To keep the other person's interest in mind over yours builds trust. All of these things that you would never really think about or pay attention to unless somebody pointed it out, or you learn it over a long period of time. And in interviewing these sales experts, there's been a common pattern that I've seen in that they had a couple of years of success. They saw someone else's stuff and they said, I can do that stuff better. And is there anything wrong with that? No, it just means that it's stuff, meaning that it's kind of untested, unproven, and just skills-based instead of the whole game. And too many salespeople think it's just about getting the meeting. It's just about the pitch. It's just about the close. It's about all of that at the right time and the right way. And that's what I'm here to help you with. So why should you listen to me? Well, listen to me. Give me a chance. And if I don't make sense to you, move on. But you got to give it a chance. And I've been where you are. I want to help you get to where you want to be. And that's what I'm here for. Thanks for listening. Make sure you're checking out everything in the show notes. Connect up with me on LinkedIn and check out both nudge.ai and Pipedrive with Brutal Truth, all one word coupon. You get a month free. Both tools I love to use every day. One builds my pipeline for me, gives me a bunch of information on using AI. The other one, I keep track of all my deals. Love the products. Make sure you're checking them out.